Oh, we're all here now.
Yeah.
The whole gang's here.
Well, two of the gang. A partial gang. We're like a mini gang. A ganglet.
No, there's no gangs.
No, we are a ganglet.
I wonder how old this couch is. I was looking at that when I come
I
out
have
here.
no idea, honestly. I'm not
That's like
sure we want to know where it's from.
a
either.
grandma's couch for sure.
I mean, they
It's
probably
got
found
like
it.
these molded feet on it.
I don't know.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the Heavy Hitters preview video where we got a little bit of a different guest here. You know, we don't have my typical Bass Pro Tour crew.
But I'm full of knowledge.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. You're full of knowledge. But you have not been out on the lake for the last 3 days practicing, and that's generally what the people want to know, is what's going on out on the lake, what we've been doing practice-wise. But I'm missing the rest of the house because Heavy Hitters is kind of a specialty event. So you qualified the year prior, and basically you take your heaviest fish from each event. So it's 7 total fish from the previous year, your heaviest fish from each event, and that total of those 7 fish is the Heavy Hitter standings in the top 30, and that standing qualify for this tournament. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
like 30
no entry
biggest
fee.
bags of the year.
Well, it's not a bag because it's
Well,
7
it's
fish.
7 fish. A 7
It's
fish
just-
bag.
Yeah, it's just the
People do 3,
the
5,
biggest
10.
biggest fish from each tournament added up. However you want to.
Your 7 fish bag.
Sure, sure. Anyway, you qualify for this. It's no entry fee, and to me, you know, this is my first year fishing it, but I've kind of learned this is essentially like a second championship. So there's tons of media opportunities. So there's a bunch of TV shows made out of this tournament, a bunch of live streaming. So obviously that's good for us to be on camera, be on TV. So hopefully we catch a few fish and you know, make the shows. I mean, that's part of the reason we're here, is to be on the live stream, to be on TV, and just continue to get those eyeballs on Matt Becker's name and see me reel in a few fish. But also, you know, there's a whole bunch of money up for grabs. Obviously, we got to make some money somehow. So we're here to hopefully cash a few of those big checks. So there's a regular payout for the regular every fish counts tournament, and then on top of that, the big fish of each round pays a substantial amount of money. So the qualifying round's $10,000, the knockout round is $30,000 for one fish, and then the championship round, if you make it there to the top 10, it's $100,000 for one bass. So that'll be pretty cool. Hopefully we can make it there. I would just really like to go out on the championship round. You know, weights are zeroed. You got a 1 in 10 chance of winning the tournament, so that's $100,000, and a 1 in 10 chance at catching the biggest bass that day, and that's another $100,000. So I like those odds. So hopefully, you know, we can catch a few bass here the next few days and just kind of ease into that championship round. Just making it would be pretty cool to go out there. So it's we're here in Florida, so we're at the Kissimmee Chain, right? Kissimmee, Florida.
And it's hot.
That's where we're sitting
Super
here.
hot.
You can,
It's so nice.
I
but
guess you
super
can
hot.
see the truck back there. You can
Yeah.
see the Spanish moss. That is a big old tree. I didn't realize we're parking under such a big tree because
Yeah.
it's been dark every time we come in, but hopefully it doesn't fall over. I mean, that would.
Yeah, don't say stuff like that.
I mean, how old do you think that tree is?
Matt.
How old do you think? That's an old tree, and that would crush everything. So anyway, we're here at Kissimmee, Florida on the Kissimmee Chain.
Yeah.
Lake Toho,
And
Cypress, Hatchinahaw, and Kissimmee.
Yeah.
For me personally, I spent my 2.5 days of practice right here on Lake Toho. I never left Lake Toho. I spent all my time there, and really the bulk of my time really on the top half of Lake Toho. So once you get down there towards the lock, towards the bottom end, it's literally just one big hydrilla mat across the whole thing.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. The water level is super down, so there's a crap ton of hydrilla. Like,
well, the water level doesn't
a
determine
lot of
the
hydrilla. I thought it did because of the sun.
No.
It doesn't make the hydrilla grow more? Really?
No. So the water, it's been.
I think you've said that before.
It's been historically warm this spring in Florida and dry. They haven't had a whole lot of rain, of course, until we get here. And now it's been storming every day. You know, I've had to come call in the cavalry a couple times this week and come sit in the truck and wait out a storm. A couple days of practice. But leading up to this tournament, it's been extremely warm and dry. So obviously a lot of the lake starts to evaporate and you know, you lose a bunch of water. So this is actually the lowest water I've ever seen on these lakes, or on Toho, I guess, because I didn't really see the other lakes. So this is the lowest water level I've ever seen on Toho, and it's definitely the most hydrilla I've ever seen. I mean, there is hydrilla everywhere. So a lot of hydrilla gnats if the wind ain't blowing, and that's
nasty.
That gets annoying.
Oh.
You know, you got to make sure you're wearing a striker buff all the way up to your sunglasses over everything. The only thing that's exposed is just your sunglasses, because they will just buzz all around you and get in every little crack, go in your ears, go in your nose.
Do you remember that one time, I think it was like at a Popka, where they had those big bugs? Oh, I remember. I'll never forget it. It was disgusting.
I don't remember big bugs. Generally, they're tiny. They're
I just remember covering all of my body.
Little zzz, like, ugh.
They were like a little bigger than gnats. They were everywhere.
I think that was at Saginaw Bay.
Oh, was it? With the hatch?
Yeah, those were a little bit bigger.
Oh, that was nasty. That was so gross.
Anyway, there's bugs everywhere. There's hydrilla everywhere. And really, there's a lot of bass everywhere. I mean, Toho's full of fish. They seem to be biting fairly well, I think. I mean, I've been catching, you know, a decent amount of fish per day. I think my goal will be, you know, more of that 5 scoreable per period, that 15 scoreable for this tournament, rather than like the last tournament we're at Lake Eufaula, where I was hoping to just catch 5 throughout the entire day.
We're back to our normal 5.
Now we're back to 5 per period, so I would like to catch 15 scoreables, and you know, the minimum's 2 pounds. A lot of the fish are skinny. You know, I guess that's just part of being here in the summertime. You know, they don't have a lot of those big bellies. They're kind of long and skinny, lanky looking. So that kind of drops the weights of them a little bit. But I feel like there's a decent amount of fish in that 2 to 3 pound range. And I feel like that's kind of what I wouldn't say that's what I'm targeting, but that's definitely what the majority of my bites have been throughout practice. I didn't really see a whole lot of those giants. You know, I had a couple big bites. I had like a 5 pounder, and I had probably a 7 or 8 pounder.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I actually lost that one right at the boat, so I didn't get to put my hands on it, but it bit, and it came. There was a boat that was running by, so I just kind of let it swim around, and then when I went to finally grab it, it come off. But it was it was an interesting practice. You know, there's a lot of different things going on. So typically when we come to Florida in the winter, you know, it's pretty straightforward. You know exactly what you're going to be doing. You're going to be either winding something in the hydrilla, or kind of flipping reeds or lily pads for spawning fish. But now, obviously, all the spawning is done. We're here in May. The water temps are in the mid to upper 80s, so it's super warm. And really, there's a couple different patterns going on. You know, you got obviously some shell bed fish, but I feel like the shell beds are a little bit iffy because the water's low and they're not really drawing any current through the lake. So generally on those shell beds, you want that current being pulled through the lake, and that's kind of what sucks those fish there. And with the lake being low and not pulling current, I feel like the shell beds aren't as good as they typically would be. Another pattern you got going on is kind of like bluegill beds, or whatever they call them down here, red ears, brim. I don't know specifically what species of fish, but you get these big craters, these big patches of little craters where all the bluegill are up spawning, and there'll be a few bass around those. And then, obviously you got just throwing the topwater around in some of the hydrilla. These are all ways that I've gotten bites, and really I probably plan on doing all of these in the tournament. And then honestly, probably one of my best patterns this week has just been flipping more of the matted hydrilla. There's a bunch of just matted hydrilla out there. You got these big expansive flats of hydrilla, and just kind of flipping the stuff that's matted that kind of makes a canopy, makes a little house for them that they can kind of tuck up under and hide out in the shade. That's been a really good pattern, and that's probably how I've got the bulk of my scoreable bites. So I'm going to spend a lot of time doing that, especially once the sun gets up. I'll probably start my day throwing some topwater, which is always exciting, especially watching live. So you guys are going to have to click off this video once we're done here and head over to live and see if we're catching a few on topwater. So it should be a good day. We're starting the day with a camera in the morning, and I'm excited to get out there. So it's going to be a hot one. I think the temperature, what does it say? Man, it was hot loading up the boat earlier. It says right now.
Oh yeah.
It is feels like 100 degrees at 7:30 p.m. And tomorrow, Saturday, we start at 8 a.m. It is going to be 79 degrees. And by 2 p.m., it will feel like 101 degrees. Yeah, it's going to be a hot one. And we're here at Heavy Hitters. We have to fish out of Major League Fishing boats.
I was about to say,
and Major League Fishing jerseys. They kind of design the jerseys for us and put the league sponsors on it. That's kind of where the money comes for the payout. That's why we don't have to pay an entry fee for this tournament.
Yeah, so he'll be in a different boat tomorrow than his regular boat.
We'll be fishing out of the league boats. They're
we just loaded that up
little
tonight.
19-foot nitros. But in this, I kind of drew the short stick, and I got a black jersey in the hot sun in Florida. So it's just going to be a little extra steamy in that jersey, and probably a little stinky. So maybe we'll auction that off. Fresh, sweat, stinky jersey.
I don't know how much.
Anybody want that? Drop it in the comments below if you would bid on a game used, freshly unwashed, stinky Heavy Hitters jersey.
They're really smelly. I don't know if I would do that.
Maybe somebody wants it.
You can say washed or unwashed. I can also wash it.
Yeah, good thing they gave us 2 jerseys. So,
one might be
if
clean.
one is, I can wear one and then wash one and wear the next one the next day. But anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in for this video. Wish us luck here at Heavy Hitters. Hopefully, you guys can, like I said, tune in to Major League Fishing live.
Wait, what do you think the biggest bass is going to be caught on this week?
I have no idea.
If you had to guess.
It
was one of the questions for fantasy fishing this week.
What do I think the biggest bass is going to be caught on?
Yeah.
Probably glide bait.
I selected
War Panda glide bait.
I selected.
I have no idea.
It
could be so many things. Could be a topwater, could be punching, could be a jerk bait, could be a finesse bait, could be a jig head minnow, could be a Carolina rig, could be a worm. I mean, literally, it could be the biggest fish could be caught on anything, but anything. Literally anything.
Dang. Well, that'll make it fun.
Yeah, there's no telling what it'll be caught on. If I don't know.
I think I picked Topwater as my. I can't remember. I was going back and forth between 2.
Yeah, I haven't seen any big ones on Topwater, but
I just thought it would be cool. That's why I selected it, so you could see
cool. Yeah. I hope I catch a big one on Topwater.
Me too, babe. I hope you do too.
Yep.
Is your plan to go more like catch every fish possible until championship round, or are you planning to target big fish only And I don't even know if you can do that, to be honest. Like,
well, you could on certain fisheries. Florida's a little different. I mean, if you're getting bites, this has always been my theory about Florida fishing. If you're getting bites and catching fish,
you're likely to also.
It's only a matter of time until one of them's a big one, and I'm just kind of playing that game. You know, I'm just doing whatever I can get a bite at, and whether it's 13 inches, whether it's 2 pounds, whether it's 3 pounds, or whether it's 8 pounds. I don't know until.
Or 10.
I don't know.
That's another thing.
Till I set the hook and
Yeah.
start fighting them. You know, the only thing I'm really concerned about in this tournament is, you know, go back to all the hydrilla is landing all the fish that bite or that you hook. You know, the hydrilla makes it really hard to land those fish. So if you're throwing, say, a topwater bait over top of some hydrilla and a big one comes up and eats it, and you set the hook, you start fighting him, and then he nosedives straight into a big hydrilla mat. I mean, it really balls them up, and they have the upper hand when they're down in that hydrilla, because that bait's going to get hung up, and then they can just kind of shake their head and basically unhook themselves. So that's a big concern of mine is hook to land ratio this week, whether I'm throwing a topwater or, you know, punching that same hydrilla, you know, getting those bites and then hooking them is one thing, but getting them out of that hydrilla into the boat is another thing, because it seems like no nets, and I mean that doesn't bother me, but it's once you get them out of that hydrilla, you're fine. But it's like if you flip your little cricket into that hydrilla and it goes down, it goes thunk, and you reel back, set the hook, and he decides to go this way and just ball up into that hydrilla, your line's kind of looped under there. I actually had one in practice that did that. So I flipped into this little mat, went down, got a bite, set the hook, and he decided to go this way. He went out of the mat and he's jumping over here, but my line is still down through the mat, and like he's jumping out here, so I had to like pull him back through. And I mean, it's like you're playing with fire there. Like you're gonna lose those. You're probably gonna land, I would say maybe 7 out of 10 out of those bites if you're lucky. I mean, so just right off the bat, you're gonna lose 3 out of 10 bites, and you know that's always concerning. So that's my main concern about this tournament is landing as many fish as I can. You know, I feel like I'll get a handful of bites throughout the day, and like I said, hopefully we can put 15 scorables on the board, 5 per period, and you know, have a decent showing. But I really don't know. I have no idea what to expect on the weights. I could be totally off base, and you could take 30 scorables a day. You know, if these guys are really on them. So these are some of the best fishermen in the world, and you know, Group A is stacked, so it's going to be hard to. It's stacked with 15 people, so it's going to be really hard to narrow it down to 8 out of those 15. So. And
it's 8 after the 2 days. Right?
2 days of fishing, yeah. Correct. But I mean, you're gonna have to really catch them in order to make that knockout round, especially out of Group A. So it's gonna be fun, and I'm ready to get after it. So I'm about to go eat. I think I'm gonna have a little ice cream, kind of cool down.
We just filled up on spaghetti.
Get back in the air conditioning out of this hot, steamy little porch or whatever you want to call this.
It's like a Florida room. Well,
Florida
you were
room.
Right? Yeah, it's a Florida room. I like it.
It's a perfect place for this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, go check out MajorLeagueFishing.com. You can watch live all 6 days of the tournament. And hopefully we're reeling in one of those big money bass this week. So wish us luck, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, send up some prayers.